Welcome back. Let's look at question 2, and that is going to be on finance. Now, Mrs. Rogue invested money monthly, that's important, from 2016 to 2020. Remember to highlight your keywords. At Company A. She terminated her investment and received the statement from Noble Mutual. So now this is the statement. It shows you the contract number, the contracting party, the name of the investment plan, the start date, and you can go and look at all the other information on your own when you get a financial document. But please study the document before you attempt any questions. And then we can see we're going to calculate the number of units, and we are going to calculate the reduction in fees. Why can we see it? Because there is variables in the financial document. What did I say? Calculate the value of A, the number of units earned from the given fund value. So A is here, and it's going to be the blue-grey fund class. Now we need to go and see what they did in that line. They gave us the unit price, then the number of units, and then the fund value, meaning they took the unit price and multiplied to get the number of units to get the fund value. So now what you're going to do is you are simply going to do the opposite, where you take the fund value and divide it by the number of units. Remember again, do not round in steps, round your answer. And then, how did we attempt this question? We went into the financial document, looked at what they give us and how they calculated, and then we simply did the opposite. Show by means of calculations that Mrs. Rogue lost 45.88% of the total premiums that she contributed towards the fund by terminating her investment before the last premium. So she lost money. So you will go and look at the fund value and the termination value, and then you will calculate and see whether you arrive at the answer at 45.88%. So now you are going to calculate the percentage and see whether your answer and their answer is the same. Calculate the value in rands of B, the reduction fees, and the transaction charges. So, what are the key words? The value in rands, we want rands of B, and B is the reduction fees and transaction charges. It is going to be that. So we are simply going to calculate the difference between the fund value and the termination value. That will give you the reduction fee. Andile received a donation from his brother who works in Rwanda. The donation was, there is keywords, 745,614.04 Rwanda francs. The bank deducted 10% for bank charges. Andile states that he will receive 12,500. No. Read properly. Can you see? Even I made the mistake. Andile states that he will receive 12,750 Rand. Use the exchange rate of that. Okay. So first of all, what we need to do is you are going to take the donation, that's 745,614.04, and then you are going to deduct the 10%. Then you are going to use the exchange rate, and see whether you arrive at the answer of 12,750. That is how you will do it. But remember, my way is not only the only way. Maybe you've got a shorter way to do it, but that's how I would have done it. Miss Fassie started a small business by selling pies at schools and factories close to her workplace. She rents 1,500 Rand per month. It costs her 5 Rand to make and package a pie, and she sells them at 15 Rand. So now we know it's a small business. And we've got income and expenses. This is content that you need to know. You need to know stuff around a small business, and then you'll need to you know what to look out for. So the keywords here will be her rent, that's expenses, and then also the cost price and the selling price. What's the question? Study the table below and answer the questions that follow. So let's make space to read the question. Can you see that you scribble and take notes quite a lot? Now, the number of pies is 0, 50, 100, 150, 250, and 350. And then the total cost in rands and the income is given for the amount of pies. So meaning, if she sold no pies, her total cost would be 1,500 and her income is nothing. Why is it like that? Because even though she hasn't sold anything, there is still fixed cost to be paid. Then, if I make space there, we know that they're going to ask us something about A and something about B because they are variables. So, what do? When you get a table, first you look at the information, highlight the keywords, and then go into the table and look at what is given. The number of pies, the total cost, and the income in rands. Just make sure that you know what's in the table before you attempt any questions. Use the table to determine Mrs. Fassie's break-even amount. So what is a break-even amount? That is where your income and your expenses is the same. So the total cost and the income in rands, we can see it's not going to be by 1, 50, 100. Here, at 150 pies, we can see that the total cost in rands and the income in rands is both 2,250. So that means it is 150 pies. If you can see it from the table, don't do any unnecessary calculations because then you might make a mistake and lose marks. The following formula are used to calculate the cost and income respectively. So now they give us, in a new example, 2 formulas. The cost for the pies is the fixed cost, 1,500 plus 5 Rand per pie, and then the income, 15 Rand per pie, and then where N represents the number of pies. Remember now that we're busy with this, if they ask you to write a formula, always use the variable N because then you don't need to explain what that means. Now, show by means of calculations that the value of B is shown is 375 Rand. So now, what we do is we go back to our table. We can see B is for 250 pies. So now we know B is going to be the 250 pies. And then if we look at the table, B is for the income. So can you see, you look at the table, you choose your formula, income is 15N, and that is then 15 times 250, and then your answer must be 3,750. Remember to refer back to your table. There's the table that we worked with, and the answer will be the same. Now, calculate the profit if 350 pies are sold. Let's look at the table. You look for 350 pies, then we'll see the total cost is 3,250 and the income is 5,250. And now we know profit is my income minus my expenses. So it's going to be the 5,250 minus the 3,250. And that brings us at the end of yet another section. Let's quickly take a break. I'll see you just now.